Hey, what's going on? Luke here. In today's video, we're going to be talking about Brandon Smith, Harry Grant, and the Melbourne Storm. Now, if you're not aware, all of the trials have been played. I think they even streamed all of the games on KO Sports, commentators and all. So if you wanted to watch them, you could have watched them. But if you haven't watched them, if you didn't watch the Melbourne game in particular, Harry Grant ended up suffering an injury. Now, we all know the plan for Melbourne. Harry Grant is taking over from Cameron Smith. It's big shoes to fill already, let alone starting the season with a big injury. So he's going to be out for 3 to 4 weeks. So essentially, Brandon Smith is going to have a month to prove himself at the Melbourne Storm. And it seems weird to say he's going to have to prove himself. It's not necessarily proving himself to the Storm even. He's proven himself to other NRL clubs who are looking for a hooker. Now, we know Brandon Smith is a capable hooker. We know what he can do. But he's also never had a real run at hooker. It's always been a game here and there. A few injuries to Cameron Smith or resting players, and he's jumped in there. Maybe played a little bit throughout a game. But we've seen him play prop all in the forwards. We've seen him play in the halves, I think. But now he finally gets to showcase his skills at hooker. And we've seen him play for the Maori side. We've seen him play quite well. So we know he's capable of playing hooker. But I'd just like to see what he's going to do in the next couple of weeks, because all eyes are going to be on Brandon Smith. Harry Grant, there was going to be all eyes on him too. But Brandon Smith, there was always going to be a spot in the side for him at the Storm, but it was a matter of what's he going to do after this year, because we know the Melbourne Storm have allowed him to talk to other clubs in terms of going to another club and playing hooker there. And there's been heaps of talk about the Titans, Bulldogs. There's a lot of teams that could do with Brandon Smith. As a Bulldogs fan, I would happily take Brandon Smith. I would love Brandon Smith at the Bulldogs. Is it going to happen? I don't know. But the next few weeks are going to be very, very important in the career of Brandon Smith in terms of how much money he can ask for. Even in terms of the actual season. Like, maybe he'll go and play so well that Harry Grant will come back and have to actually fight for his spot. We've seen the Storm aren't afraid to do that. I remember a couple of years ago, Scott Drinkwater, who's now the fullback at the Cowboys, or in the halves, but he did play fullback in the trials. But he's at the Cowboys now. He was essentially the number one fullback after Billy Slater. He was earmarked for it, and then he got injured, and then he slid to third in line because Pappenhausen came on the scene. There was Jerome Hughes there as well. So all of a sudden, he wasn't really needed. He ended up at the Cowboys. So I don't think that's going to happen to Harry Grant. We all know how good he actually is. We've seen him at the Tigers. We've seen him play for bloody Queensland, for God's sake. We know he's a good player. We know he's going to be in the plans for the Storm, but it could just throw a little spinner into the works in terms of Brandon Smith going on. And even in the trials, Harry Grant looks really good, but Brandon Smith also looked good in the hook position as well. Now, I think just because of Brandon Smith's versatility, it's going to sort of work against him in the sense that if he was just an out-and-out hooker, I think there might have been more competition. It kind of reminds me of, say, like Jack Whiten at Origin level. He can play centre, so he's not going to get a shot at 5'8" because he can play other positions. Same as Tom Trbojevic. I mean, Tedesco's always there, but if Tom Trbojevic couldn't play centre, maybe there'd be more question marks over, who's going to be the fullback? You know what I mean? Like, if someone's versatile, it's great for them. It's great for getting money and other teams looking at you. You're always going to have a spot in a side, but if you're looking to be a star of the show, you're looking to play one specific position, might not work out the best for you because they're just going to shuffle you around wherever you can play at the time. If hooker suits, we'll chuck you there. If not, we can chuck you in the forward. So in saying that though, I think it's a good thing for Brandon Smith in this case, because even if he doesn't play great at hooker, we all know he's good enough to play in other positions. We can see him play in lock, especially with how the locks are these days. You've got your Cameron Murrays and such. I mean, even Tamalalo's moving from the lock position. Sharks were saying they'll bring in McInnes over to play at lock as well. So we've seen a lot of hookers move into that lock position, and Brandon Smith is ideal for that, really. He's got speed, he's got a good leg drive, can tackle well. They even played him at prop. Like, this guy he's just a weird player. And don't get me wrong, I still actually think his best position will be hooker, and I think he'll end up playing hooker, but it's just for the Storm, he's still so versatile, so you may as well chuck him on the bench. No matter how good he plays, I think he'll end up on the bench, maybe even in the starting 13, but I just can't see him being that number 9. I think his more likely position is going to be the number 13 at lock. But look, you never know. Like I said, the Storm have a history of going with the form player, and I honestly wouldn't be surprised if we see Harry Grant come back through reserve grade or off the bench, something along the lines of that. It seems crazy right now, but we have seen the Storm do it in the past, and I use Drinkwater as the perfect example. Guy who was at the top, got one injury and slid all the way down, because we know Brandon Smith is good enough to hold on to that 9 position. We know he's capable of doing it. We know he could go to another club and do it, but yeah, just for Brandon Smith, I think this is a great opportunity for him. As much as it sucks for Harry Grant, we know he's going to have a long career. We know his future at the Storm. We know he's going to be the number 9 long term. Brandon Smith, not so much. He's already been told he can look elsewhere if he wants to play the number 9 position. So this is a great opportunity for him to show all the skills and all the talent that he has in this position to other clubs, instead of maybe going to another club and saying, well, you know, I can play hooker, and they're going, well, we haven't really seen too much for you, so we'll chuck you 500,000. He has a solid month to show that he's a great player. He can go there and say, look how good I did. maybe give me 800,000. You know what I mean? It's just a great opportunity for him. Hopefully he takes advantage of it, and hopefully he ends up at the Bulldogs, to be honest with you. Now, I don't want to ramble with this video too much. We'll keep it nice and short, but yeah, essentially all I wanted to talk about was the fact that how big of an opportunity this is for Brandon Smith, and we've always sort of said, oh, well, maybe he just needs an opportunity, just needs a good run in the side, instead of just playing a couple of games and then moving back to the lock and then jumping back to hooker. Then he's back on the bench and playing prop, chucking him anywhere. So now there's sort of no excuses. He's chucked in there, and we get to see what he can do. And I think it's also a good opportunity for the rest of the Storm to just not have Cameron Smith there. We know Harry Grant was earmarked to come in there. He was going to play. He just played for Queensland Origin, so we know he's going to be a quality 9. But Brandon Smith there, it's a good opportunity for him, a good opportunity for the rest of the side, because there's going to be no sort of question marks on, oh, well, is it Cameron Munster or is it just Cameron Smith? Like, are these players good? Is Jerome Hughes, is he just getting carried by Cameron Smith? Oh, well, it's not Cameron Smith, but Harry Grant, I mean, he's the next best thing. So, I mean, he's still probably carrying them. So there's going to be a lot of things answered, I think, when Brandon Smith plays hooker. I think it's going to be a lot answered around the rest of the side, in the sense that there's going to be no, oh, well, Cameron Smith just carrying them, because that is something that I think has actually genuinely happened to the Storm. I was talking about it in Jerome Hughes' video, saying no matter how good Jerome Hughes played last year, or even plays this year, everything's still going to revolve around, oh, well, Cameron Smith, he's only making him look good. Oh, Harry Grant, he's only making him look good. I think it actually takes him moving to another side for him to actually show how good he actually is. But I think right now is a good opportunity. There's going to be no Cameron Smith, no Harry Grant. I know Brandon Smith is there, but he doesn't get the same plaudits as what the other two guys are. So, and also, it seems crazy for me to talk about Harry Grant and Cameron Smith in the same breath, but it is what it is. Harry Grant is getting highly talked about at the moment. He played for Queensland last year. He is literally the next best thing in the game. So yeah, it sounds ridiculous, but it is what it is. And I guarantee, if the Storm had started strong, all eyes would have been on Harry Grant and went, oh, how good is he? It wouldn't have really been like, oh, Jerome Hughes has really stepped up, Pappenhausen's really stepped up, because they played like that last year. Everything would have revolved around Harry Grant, how good he is. So if the Storm start off strong, maybe we can look at Brandon Smith and go, wow, he is a quality hooker. He's also quality utility, but he is a quality hooker. And the rest of the side, they are just absolute quality. Craig Bellamy is an absolute genius. They're all stuff that I think we kind of know, but this will just emphasize it and confirm it. Anyways, that's where I'm going to wrap up this video. What are your thoughts on the Melbourne Storm? Are they done for without Harry Grant? Is Brandon Smith going to step up? Is he going to show off his skills and showcase it for the rest of the sides in the NRL? Where's he even going to end up? Do you think he's going to sign with your club? I'd love for him to sign with the Bulldogs, but a lot of talk about the Titans and a few others, so I honestly wouldn't be surprised if he ends up on the Gold Coast. But yeah, leave in the comment section below, what are your thoughts on Brandon Smith, Harry Grant? Do you think it's going to hamper Harry Grant's career? Is he going to end up injury prone? Plenty of stuff to talk about, but while you're leaving those comments or reading the comments, make sure you go ahead and smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. It is very important in terms of growing the channel that you do like and subscribe. Turn on the notification bell as well, unless you be notified immediately that I've uploaded, rather than having to wait on the sub boxes, because we all know they're pretty dodgy. So go ahead and do all that sort of stuff. Follow me on social media as well. It's on the screen right now. It's Mr. Luke on YT for the most part, but it's just Mr. Luke on Facebook. So go ahead and give me a follow on that. Snapchat is also Mr. Luke on YT. So go ahead and do that. But that's where I'm going to end this video. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more content on the channel. Plenty of stuff to talk about in terms of the NRL. I mean, it starts next week, so going to be uploading nearly daily. So stay tuned, stay subscribed, and I'll see you for my next video. See you guys.